Am I the a-hole for posting my manager in a "Are we dating the same guy" Facebook group, resulting in him getting fired? Ooh. I was working as a bartender, and I had become good friends with my general manager, who was hired after me. I loved my job, but left very abruptly due to some things going on in my personal life. But that manager and I remained good friends and hung out quite often. I opened up to him about what was happening in my life and relationship. I was at a very low, dark place in my life, and he started asking me for noodle photos, nude photos, offering to pay me for it and pay for me to come to his house. I felt like he was trying to take advantage of me at a vulnerable time when I needed friendship and support. I ended up blocking him and trying to move on. That's until another woman that worked with him started to come to me to share what harassment they were enduring from him. He was offering money and preferred shifts in exchange for nudes and dates. He even tried to ask a girl under the age of 21 to have drinks with him, and when she declined, he gave her fewer shifts at work. He was making all the women at the restaurant uncomfortable and fear for their jobs. We got together to collect everyone's stories and experiences with him so we could plead with the owner to fire him. Nothing happened to the manager, and the harassment continued. But from what I heard, the wife wanted to fire him, but the husband wanted to keep him on because, other than harassment, he was a good manager. Other than harassment. I'm sorry, what? He had been good for the business overall. Okay, well, someone else can also do that role who doesn't harass people. What did I just read? This is when I decided to make an anonymous post to my local Facebook group. Are we dating the same guy? These groups serve as a way for women to find out if their partner is dating other women, but also serves as a platform for women to share warnings of men who have mistreated them. I posted his picture and wrote a warning to the woman in our city about his actions as a restaurant manager. It spread quickly and the owners fired him. But not only did he lose his job, but the owners knew this post would make it hard for him to find another job in our town and advised him to move somewhere else. He did, in fact, end up moving back to his hometown and found another restaurant management job there. All the women I worked with questioned who made the anonymous post, and I kept my silence. But I wonder, am I the a-hole? Someone said maybe the post should follow him to his new location if his behavior continues. Someone else said the Facebook page is worldwide, so his secret won't stay that way for long. Someone said not the a-hole. None of that would have happened if he wasn't a creep. Am I reacting? Resigned today. Boss's reaction was worse than I expected. I put my 2 weeks in this morning on a call with my boss. I work a startup as a 1099 contractor and have been the only full-time person besides him for about 8 months now. I expected him to be upset, but understanding, as he and I have had a good relationship up until this point. Instead, after I resigned, he proceeded to tell me that he was disappointed in me, had thought we were closer than this, but was obviously wrong. That it was a slap in the face due to how lenient he had been with me. Didn't believe my reasons for wanting to leave, being that I don't have health insurance or retirement benefits, and finally grilling me on why I hadn't told him I was looking for employment elsewhere, and that we could fix things if I had just asked. But I had been expressing concerns over the course of my time here, including about healthcare coverage. We had discussed about it and came up with solutions and next steps, but nothing ever materialized. I've been working professionally in my field for about 7 years now and have never experienced a reaction like this to a resignation, ever. I completely froze during the call and didn't stand up for myself. It was like I could hardly talk and was on the verge of tears, which I hate. The only stuff I really said towards the end were apologies and expressing that I had very much enjoyed my time with the company, but think this is best for my career. After we ended the call, I took my time to think things through and collect my thoughts, and then proceeded to feel very upset at how the entire thing went down. Took some time to write a message to him, since he'd mentioned he was busy much of the afternoon. He wrote, after some time letting my emotions settle, I want to follow up with our call this morning. I understand that timing is rarely ideal for resignation and can understand feeling frustrated or hurt by it. But I want to be very clear that I do not feel your response framing my next career decision as a personal betrayal. This is a professional decision that I ultimately made based on my stability, benefits, and long term sustainability. We did discuss the idea of giving you a heads up if I ever looked elsewhere about 3 to 4 months ago, but the reality is that this opportunity manifested itself quickly. I'm not sure what a preliminary notice would have realistically changed when the entire application to offer process took place over less than 2 weeks. I appreciate that you have, as you have said on the call, been lenient with me, but I also ask that you reflect on my time, in which I have worked alongside you full time in exchange for a wage that stagnated at an equivalent of $10 an hour for 5 months, that only climbed to $12 an hour 3 months ago. Yet, despite this, and despite the initial promises upon joining that the low pay would only be temporary, I still have been very willing and excited to do our work and grow this company. There are many things I could say, but ultimately, I've been very appreciative to have worked with you to grow blank over the past 8 to 9 months, and I will continue to handle the next 2 weeks professionally to ensure blank has a smooth transition. My last day will be February 27th, 2026. Am I overreacting about this? I feel angry and confused. Someone said nobody paying $12 an hour has a right to expect loyalty. OP is putting way too much effort into this for $12 an hour. With 7 years experience, no F that. For me, they'd be lucky to get any notice at all. Someone said that's an illegal wage in Canada. Am I the jerk for reporting my brother's passport stolen 48 hours before his destination wedding because he took my dog's surgery money? Huh? I'm a 27-year-old male. Have a 5-year-old dog who needs a $4,000 surgery for his hips. I've kept the cash in the lockbox in my closet because I was taking it to the vet this week. My older brother, 30-year-old male, is getting married in Mexico this Saturday. He has a spare apartment key for emergencies. He kept complaining all month about his fiancée wanting expensive upgrades for the reception and how broke we are. I went to get the money yesterday, and the box was pried open and empty. I checked my living room camera and saw my brother walking out with the cash stuffed in his pocket. I called him and he basically confessed immediately, but said it was just a loan and his future wife's happiness is more important than a dog right now. He promised to pay me back later, like next year. I was seeing red. I didn't even yell at him. I just logged onto the government portal, reported his passport as lost and stolen, and then took the video footage straight to the police to file a theft report. This morning, he tried to check in for his flight at the airport and got pulled aside. His passport is flagged and invalid, so he can't leave the country. The entire wedding in Mexico is ruined, and his fiancée is threatening to call it off completely. My parents are absolutely losing their minds at me, saying I destroyed my brother's life over an animal, and that I should just wait until after the wedding to sort out the money. They want to drop the charges, but I refuse. Am I the jerk? What the heck? How about teaching your son not to steal? What? Someone said you reap what you sow. Not the jerk. You did what was best. You worked hard to save, and he actually is so entitled. And if it means taking a break from the family, so be it. Am I overreacting for being annoyed that my boyfriend pre-orders conversations? This is kind of small, but it's been building up, and now I can't tell if I'm being dramatic. My boyfriend and I are in our mid-20s, and have been together for about a year, and overall things are good. He's thoughtful, plans dates, remembers little details, etc. But he has this one habit that is starting to genuinely get on my nerves. He pre-orders conversations. I don't know how else to describe it. Basically, we hang out. He'll text me things like, "Hey, later, I want to tell you a funny story about something that happened at work today." Or remind me tonight to ask you something kind of serious. At first, I thought it was cute, like he was excited to tell me, but it started happening all the time, like multiple times a day. The problem is, when he does this, I spend hours wondering what he's going to say. If he says it's something serious, I get anxious, thinking something is wrong. If it is funny, I feel weirdly pressured to react the right way when he finally says it. And sometimes the story isn't even that interesting. Like he'll build it up all day and then just a mildly awkward interaction with his coworker or something. Then I feel guilty for being underwhelmed because he seemed so excited about it earlier. I told him gently that it kind of stresses me out when he previews conversations like that. And he said he's just trying to include me in his thought process and give me something to look forward to, which I get, but it doesn't land that way for me at all. Last night he texted me, "I have something kind of important to bring up later." Not bad though. And I spent the entire evening low-key anxious, only to find out it was whether we should start splitting groceries different. I didn't react badly or anything, but initially I was like, why did this need a trailer? I'm starting to feel irritated every time I see one of those texts pop up, which feels like such a dumb thing to be bothered by. He's not doing anything malicious, and I know some people would probably find this sweet, but it's gotten to the point where I almost want to tell him to just say the thing or don't mention it at all. Am I overreacting for being annoyed by it? Someone said, try to compromise. He has to give you the header of the story and can fill you in later. Like, I was thinking about reorganizing how we do groceries. Remind me to fill you in on the details later.